Hello and welcome to Afterbuzz TV, home of the world's worst Cher impersonation. We're going to talk about some slap-happy mini challenges, a very unauthorized Cher rusical, and more. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Because we couldn't get the rights to a Cher song. No, we couldn't. I could just ask for another. Hello, everyone. I am your host, 123 Jackie B. We're here to discuss RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10, Episode 8, the unauthorized rusical, or the unauthorized Cher rusical. I have Ollie and Mark J. Freeman with me.
Hello.
Ronnie is at home with his mom because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers
and
out there.
One of my drag babies text me Happy Mother's Day.
God.
Rude.
Shady.
Anissa, Amanda, and Gloria are all going to get punched.
That's how
All my
you treat
loves.
them as a mother.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
that's
punch
why.
them.
That's probably
It's called
why
tough
they didn't
love.
say love
That's
you.
right. That's right.
Okay.
My mom, when she was young, looked kind of like Cher, so I'm going to tweet out a picture later so y'all can see it. So I feel like,
Fantastic.
in a way, my mom is kind of like Cher,
Yeah.
Aw.
but
Happy
just
Mother's Day.
not as famous.
That's so sweet.
So, did you both go to DragCon or just
Yep,
Mark?
we
Yes,
both
we
did.
did.
You both did. Let's get a little update from DragCon. What happened at
Well, I
DragCon?
say everyone's asking, so might as well give them a little bit.
Yeah.
You can go first, Oliver, because you met some of the season 10 girls.
Yeah, I met Cameron. She was super nice. You know, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time with her because her line was crazy. I met Monique. She's so sweet. Yuha again. Yuha's always. I met her again, and she's just so shady to me, and it's so cool to be shady back to her. So we have an interesting kind of relationship together. But yeah, I really wanted to meet Miss Cracker, but kind of some of the event is a little disorganized, and I don't agree with how they organize it. But other than that, you know, if you want to go to DragCon, just make sure you're ready to stand in lines and pay lots of money.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you already have to pay money to get in.
You pay money to get in.
But
You-
for VIP, like VIP, if you want to meet a queen, VIP is up here. You have a fast pass, that's your priority, and then it's general. So when I went to go meet Cracker, attempt to meet Cracker, VIP just kept going and going and going, kept filling up. So I was in line for 2 hours to meet Miss Cracker, and I didn't get to because that's how they organized it. So, but I had a good time regardless, other than that fact. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Panel went good. It was way too short. They cut it off way too quick. I don't know why that happened. So I didn't get to a lot of questions. We got one fan question, which was about Raven, had nothing to do with season 3. But overall, the panel was fun. It was wonderful to see all the girls. I even said when I started the panel, it was fun to do kind of my research to prepare and kind of go down memory lane of season 3. There were just so many things that I completely forgot. That was the season they did the open call, where they cast Delta and Venus Delight in the first episode.
I forgot that.
Remember that? I know. I totally forgot. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
oh my God, they need to bring that back. That would be cool.
Mark, you need to unplug and replug your mic.
All right, so let's try this.
Well, Mark is silent.
Finally, he's silent. Gosh.
I'm gonna use Ollie's microphone while I'm unplugged.
Oh my God, where there's a will, there's a way for him. Let me tell you about a nice little podcast you guys need to listen to. Maria Menounos has a podcast called Conversations with Maria Menounos. It drops every single Friday. It's free. Please go check it out. She covers health, fitness, life tips, everything you need to know to be a better person, because in this day of age, we need to be nicer to each other. And we need to be more confident. So check it out. And when you do, tell Maria that it was us that sent you there. So yeah. Oh,
And
you're back? Are you back?
this is
I
a
think I'm
shortened
back.
version of her Sirius XM show.
Yeah.
So
Shorter and
free
freer.
and free.
Free 99.
How can you not love free 99?
Right. So sorry, back to DragCon. Well, it was fun though.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was huge. That's in the South Hall, so it was the biggest hall. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see numbers wise. It didn't seem busier, but it was also.
didn't.
I mean, it was a walk. Like the runway was on one side, which is where Tony Moore was. So I would go over there and like hang out with him every once in a while. And then if you ended up on the other side, like when I went to leave, I was like, yeah, not gonna go walk over and say goodbye. Like, it was that far away. So I was like,
Hall's
I know
huge.
so many people that were like, I'm not even going back over to Acid Betty's side because she was on that side. It's just too far to go.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually think it might have been a little more fun if it were a little more compact.
Yeah.
Just that hustle and bustle, I think would have been kind of more exciting. But it was fun. Again, glad to get to go. Glad to get to go on somebody else's dime. Because I definitely would not be paying to go. I'll wait till Monday and Tuesday in West Hollywood and see.
But I did see that there were a lot of cool booths with a lot of awesome merch. You must have got your Cameron shirt there.
I did.
It's awesome.
Yes, I
which
did.
you
Thank
have to
you,
buy
thank
if
you,
you want a photo.
It's true. There are a lot of drawbacks to conventions, especially with drag queens, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
If you're a diehard fan, I recommend it for sure. It's an
If you're a dire fan and you have money to spend,
yes.
do it. I just say wait till they come to your area and really try and go, and especially if you are on a dime, because it's. I literally was walking around with somebody and I love them all, but I'm not gonna. This isn't how I want to spend my money.
Yeah.
And kudos to you that do, because it's not.
Well, I mean, they got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and I
Like,
understand that. And
It's the same. It's the same concept with Comic-Con. It's
Right.
like you have people there and they're spending their time there, so they have to make money.
Well, and I always say too, it's more than just the queens, which is what was exciting for me when I went the first time, to see all the different gay-owned businesses, gay travel sites, all these different things that are there for you that you may not even know about. So it's definitely something to experience. And a lot of them, especially, some of them aren't as particular with hiding. So you can't see them unless you actually come up and buy the merch and go back to take the picture. So sometimes you can, like Miss Cracker, even though there was a long line, you could see her. She was right there, and if you waited, you could wait for people to move and take a quick picture of her and move along. You know what I mean? So I do think it's going to get more like, I would hope that it gets more like that, where they start to go, this is a little ridiculous that we're making this so hard for people to get to us and take a picture. And even if you just want a picture of them, like, who cares? It's free publicity, girl.
People love that,
Glad you guys love DragCon.
Yeah, it was fun.
What did you think of this episode? I love Cher, so I'm just gonna say I absolutely love this episode, and I'm glad that Cameron finally got a win,
Yes.
because I've really been a fan of Cameron.
Yeah, I'm really happy. That makes me much more happier and excited for her longevity within the competition, because I was getting nervous. I was like, she's not winning. Now I'm nervous for a couple other queens, such as Monet and Cracker. It's really getting down to the wire. We have a solid top 6. But yeah, I think we'll talk about it later. But I think talking about Vixen, I think she her send-off, hopefully, I hope, made her look better to the fans, because the fandom can be a little toxic at times, and I think she got eliminated in a good fashion. Like, she wasn't. I felt bad,
I do
felt
think,
bad for
though,
her.
to call out for some fans, like, the fandom can be toxic sometimes for no reason, and that is also what makes me mad.
Yeah,
Because
I
you'll
agree.
see some queens that, like, maybe they sent your favorite queen home in a lip sync or something like that, and then the queen who did that gets attacked, and it's like, she's just doing her job.
Yeah, you could have an opinion, but then to send, like, death threats, that's uncalled for. That's
crazy.
absolutely no.
You can say something, like, we've learned here to say, this is not my cup of tea, like, this queen is not my cup of tea, or this outfit is not my cup of tea. But it's like, ultimately, everyone here is expressing their
Derek
art.
Barry is not my cup of tea. Speaking of, I was telling him this. You'll
my
get a kick out of
gosh.
this. When I was leaving today, her booth was empty. She wasn't there. But there...
You should have taken a picture.
I wanted to take a picture so bad. There was this, like, real booger drag queen sitting at her table with a blonde wig. So it was just the black table, black curtain. It said Derek Barry. And I was like, I just want to take a picture of this and have the Derek Barry sign behind it, like, and make that go viral. Like, it would have made my day. Anyway.
You should have.
I forgot to say, I did, actually, I don't know, did you get a hot dog from Tyra Sanchez out front before you went in? Totally kidding.
Oh
totally
my God,
kidding.
the shade! Oh my God, you are the shadiest.
Season 2 queen selling hot dogs out front. Anyway, this episode, okay, I'm going to say this again, because I said this a couple episodes ago. I'm tickled that season 10 has put thought behind the challenges and the mini challenges and kind of making it all make sense instead of just doing things to do them. I liked that the mini challenge had to do with Cher. You know what I mean? Like that they were tied together. It wasn't just, I'm going to do a mini challenge. You have to pick up a feather with
how
your...
did the mini challenge have to do with Cher?
The snap out of it. The slap.
Oh, I thought
It was called
sorry,
slap out of it or something is what it was called.
I missed that because I just thought it was, I wrote fake bitch slap.
Yeah. No, it was because of her snap out of it.
Oh.
I think they called it snap out of it.
Snap out of
The
it.
challenge or something like
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
Even though I watched the
It took
episode.
me like the second time watching to get it
Yeah.
because they say something. So that's how I caught it. But I enjoyed it. We'll just agree to disagree about the winner. But
Okay, well, we'll get there.
Okay,
We're
so
gonna get there,
yeah, well, okay.
it's gonna be a good day for us to be sitting on the same side.
Let's do this.
So with the slap out of it challenge, which I wrote down as fake bitch slap, which is apparently not the title. I thought the funniest to me was Cameron with the grandmother joke, and then I thought
Oh yeah.
I thought Eureka's HD joke was pretty funny. To me, those were the two funniest.
Yeah.
I actually liked Aquaria's.
I liked Aquarius too.
I actually really liked Aquaria's.
I liked
I
Aquaria
thought
and
the only
Cameron.
one that I was just of course, was just made no friggin' sense was Vixen.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was just
the Vanjie thing didn't make
any
sense
sense.
in
It had
context.
nothing to do with it.
And I like out of all of them, Asia, I was not seeing like if
As
you
a
picked
winner.
Eureka, Monet, like Cracker, Cameron, I
Yeah.
could have
Well,
seen that.
I think it was also their reaction to the slap, and her reaction was way over the top. And she did hit her. So she had to.
felt
I
ba-
think
she-
she
yeah,
felt
she-
bad because she hit her.
She
so
didn't want to
had
get sued. That's why
Right.
she gave her the win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
I
thought-
didn't until I realized she actually hit her. As soon as that happened, I went, "Oh, well, she's gonna win," and then she won. So, but I liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun.
Then we had the Maxi challenge, which is the unauthorized Cher musical, and we were talking about how they didn't use a Cher song as a lip sync.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they didn't have the rights,
Right.
which is why they couldn't. The actual episode title is just unauthorized musical, and then in the episode they're like Cher.
Yeah, right.
So I am a little bit bummed about that because it's like, come on, Cher, give RuPaul the rights to your
Yeah.
music. Let these people love you.
Have they done a Madonna song?
Yes, they have.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have. Okay.
They have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did it for like the Madonna Night of 1,000 Madonnas or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did.
So I was a little bummed about that, but it does remind me of we have this theater here in LA called the Rockwell where they do a lot of like unauthorized musical versions.
I love
of,
that you called it a theater.
It is. It's like a dinner theater.
Yeah.
More shade.
It's-
Marcus.
Well,
is
no,
shading-
and I'm not.
Marcus is
No, I
shading
know.
us.
Mark knows
Chris,
the
I know them. I
people
work for
who run
them.
it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. 'Cause
okay.
It used to be a restaurant, so I don't think of it as a theater. I think of it as a restaurant that does shows.
Well, it's like a
but
dinner theater.
that's what I mean. I
It's
wasn't-
like a dinner theater.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
There's a stage. They dance all around you. They drink your wine, whatever.
right.
But it does remind me of that. It's like this like fan kind of like service to different like shows and
Yeah.
things like that. So I was tickled by it. I just wish they had done a Cher song.
Yeah. Oh, they've done 4 Madonna songs:
There you
"Express
go.
Yourself," "Causing a Commotion," "Vogue," and "Music."
Oh, they did do music. That was the most recent one.
Yeah.
So we had Cameron
Thank
was
you.
60s Cher. Monet and Vixen were both 70s variety show Cher. Aquaria was disco Cher. Asia was movie star Cher. Eureka was rock star Cher. And Cracker was comeback Cher. You know, it was weird to me that Asia had this whole conundrum with being movie star Cher
Yeah.
because that would probably be one of my favorite
Yeah.
Chers. Like, I'm like got her movie star hair.
Yeah.
Very poorly done movie star hair,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love movie star Cher. I mean, to me, that's who I grew.
I think
That's
I
the
think
version of
I think
Cher I
Miss
saw
Cracker
first.
was right when she kind of called her out and was just like, I don't know if she did it in person, but I think in the confessional
Unchecked.
she said, you know, she was mad that Asia was making excuses for being. And first of all, you know, the whole thing about her complaining about the glitter material, they actually liked your outfit, Asia.
Yeah.
Everybody liked the outfit. So the fact that you're giving shade to the girls because they didn't use it, it's like that's why we're even having this argument is ridiculous because they actually liked your outfit
And it
more
was
than they
just
liked some of the other
so,
ones.
it was just like
Yeah.
the whole
I-
like breakdown of like whether or not you could use sequins or or glitter, or what was the other one? It was like sequins glitter or some other thing,
Rhinestones.
like rhinestones. Yeah. Like she was like trying to parse out like reasons for why you should not wear the other ones. And I'm like, if it's glitter, if it like makes a kind of glittery image, I don't think it matters.
I don't think the outfit would have saved her if she had like a dazzling glitter gown.
No.
It wouldn't have saved her because her performance was one of the
so
lowest.
bad.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
really bad.
No.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm saying that I like Asia. Like, I like Asia. I don't want Asia to go home. But it's like, you know, there's a point where you have to, like, suck it up and be like, I did poorly today. Today was not my day.
Yeah.
My favorite, though, was Cameron as 60 Cher because I do agree with them that it was the most Cher.
Yes.
It read to me as the most Cher. Although, if I'm looking at a performance overall, I would say Monet just because it made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
Like, Monet's was hilarious.
Yeah.
And she did have Cher mannerisms.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she had a really good characterization of Cher, and I think it was one of the more funnier ones. I think my personal favorite, I'm happy Cameron won. You know, I think for her to start the show and still be memorable and be Cher-like, so I can understand why she won, and I'm happy she won. But I really liked Cracker this week. I thought she was really funny.
She did. I think it was so weird to me because they were like, oh, well, you weren't very Cher or whatever. And I was like, are you kidding?
We couldn't understand your vocalization. I'm like,
you can't understand Cher's vocalization sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when she sings, when you're talking about that Cher that Cracker was doing, the comeback Cher, you cannot, because of all the like auto-tune, understand what she's saying. So I got it.
Yeah.
Like I got what she was doing with that.
So I was a little bummed that Cracker didn't win this week, but I was still very happy and proud of Cameron.
Cracker hasn't won yet.
No, she has not. So that scares me.
Yeah.
I think she deserves to be in the top 3 or top 4, whatever they're doing this season. But I'm scared. I'm scared for her and Monet. So
Mark, since you didn't think Cameron was in the top, who did you think?
Monet for sure.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked Eureka as well. I do think let's not mince words. Michelle misspoke when she said temporary. It was more tentative when she came out, and I did notice that right away. And I did notice that as she got going, her energy and everything kind of picked up. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I thought Cameron, I'm not gonna blame Cameron per se, because the song at that point is very slow. It's just kind of spoken. It's not very upbeat at that point if you rewatch it, which I've done a couple times now. She definitely looked the most Cher, and I will go out on a limb and say she looked more Cher than Chad Michaels. She sounded very Cher. The energy for me wasn't there. It didn't wow me. I did kind of look away the first time I watched it because I was just kind of like, okay, let's get to the nitty gritty. And then Monet came out and just knocked it out of the ballpark. To me, that's when the number started, truthfully. Going back and watching it, I did start to like Cameron's more. It just seemed so hesitant and so temporary that I had a hard time with it. I don't know. And I think the reason she won is because of her runway. I think if Monet's runway I liked, I couldn't see the things that they were saying they could see.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, I actually really like this. And kudos to you for wearing that, because my fat ass wouldn't wear anything like that. So I think had her outfit looked better, she would have won. But
I also agree with the people in the bottom. Like Vixen actually has really good timing. Like she's able to dance really well. And you can tell that's one of her talents. Like when she was with Todrick, and Todrick's like, do this move, this move, this move, this move, and she was on it, but it completely did not read as Cher.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I have to say, when RuPaul said this, I was like, that was it. It was her. She was just performing. She wasn't connecting.
Right.
And when she said that, I went, that's what it was. That's absolutely what it was.
And I do think, and we'll talk about this later too, I do think when you get to a point where you're feeling like disheartened in yourself and you're having that kind of moment, it's hard for you to really perform and connect with the audience.
And I think you saw that in her lip sync for her life.
Yeah.
I think there was a very big difference between what Asia was doing and what Vixen was doing. You could tell Vixen was struggling to I have to win this. And Asia's like, girl, this is what I do every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just saw that attitude on stage.
Yeah.
Because it would have made a huge difference if Vixen had fun with it and really tried to do the Cher voice. But she didn't.
She didn't. Not at all.
Didn't reach
Not at
Cher
all.
at all.
She did what she does in Chicago. Lip sync to a Cher song and put on what she thought was the closest thing to looking like Cher.
Yes. So then, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out, I had a note here. Oh yeah, it was a note about, we had as the judging panel, Andrew Rannells.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. And Billy Eichner.
Who I saw Saturday. Did you see him Saturday?
No, I didn't.
I saw him
Oh,
walking around.
I've never seen Billy on the street, but I want to watch
It's
it.
hysterical. It's hysterical.
I want to watch it. And I love Andrew Rannells.
Yeah.
So I was pleased that those were the judges. I
Yeah.
thought they were
Good
great
choices.
judges. And I've been loving Michelle's makeup. Like whoever.
She's looking better than Ru. Like this.
Don't
this
tell
season.
Raven that.
Sorry, Raven.
And she always on her Instagram, like has these like cool glasses on in this episode, and on her Instagram she's had tons and tons of cool glasses. So just a
She had cool
random-
glasses on today. Did you see her today? Oh, you didn't.
No,
go
I
today.
wasn't there. I don't have money like you do. No.
I didn't have money. I got this. I got this.
So our mirror moment was about the Vixen. And I agree with you, Ollie, where it's like she left on a high note because she realized Asia did this thing where she pulled her aside and she was like saying, I understand where you're coming from. I know why you're angry because you feel like you're struggling to be worthy. But ultimately in the end, and it's kind of something Ru said to her too, ultimately in the end, you're responsible for yourself and you're responsible for your own happiness. So like there was a point, like I do know that Eureka had episodes ago like picked that fight with the Vixen, but at the same time it's like there's a point where like Eureka we've seen has already moved past that moment and the Vixen hadn't. And then the Vixen had managed in this episode, which did warm my heart, to say like she likes Aquaria now. Like she
Yeah.
realizes she has this like outsider personality and she can relate to that. And so I think like I do agree that if the Vixen and I think I said this before, stopped feeling so hurt and like walled off, she'd be able to see like similarities between her and other queens and really be able to connect. Because it's like, yeah, anyone can look at you and understand, okay, you've been hurt here in the past, but at the same time, you can't go into every situation saying this person's gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
Because that closes you off from like potential friendships and relationships.
And that makes you look very, as Willem would say, pointed. And no one wants to get behind you or support you if you're going to act like that.
Yeah.
Act like that. And I think with Vixen, I totally agree with what Asia said. She said, I totally understand where Vixen's coming from about being typecast as the angry black woman syndrome, but she's going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's what Asia said during the mirror moment. And so to see Vixen kind of get eliminated this week, and I remember she said something about, when this airs, there'll be nothing but love to like the queens. And I just fear for like the fans just being very nasty and toxic because it's so easy to do these days. And I was talking to Mark about how drag was so much different, getting prepared.
In my day.
Yeah. And you're... But like still...
Ollie wasn't even born yet.
I think, your era of drag... You were ostracized in public, whereas these queens are ostracized online, and both are very harmful.
And some instances are ostracized in their own community. Like part of the Vixen's problem was it's like she went to some event and they were like, "Oh, Southside Trash has shown up," and it was like a drag event. I can't remember.
No, it was Pride.
It was
they
Pride.
said that the Southside drag or Southside Trash ruined it or something.
Right. So it's like I can understand where there's this like almost PTSD in your heart because that happened to you, but to be able to like move forward and move on in life, you still have to pull down your walls to be able to like make new friendships and realize that not everybody is going to attack you that way.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I think everything that Asia said was spot on. I think it needed to be said, and she nailed it. She totally nailed it. She's taking out her anger off of whatever she had a problem with Eureka. And I don't even know that we talked about this because that episode last week when they all had to pick who they thought should go home, on the runway and she said Eureka. Later in the Untucked, she actually says, well, if I'm basing it on performance, I should have said Monique. Well, you just said that you didn't pick the person you thought should go home. And she says it later. I picked the person that I liked the least to go home because I don't want you here. Well, that's not what RuPaul said.
Right.
RuPaul said, who do you think should go home? You know, and it's and she's saying that based on at this point in the competition, you know? I think everybody knows what you're saying. And that is when the, you know, you do start, and it's hard because you don't want to pick somebody that you may not personally like, but is doing well. It's hard. It takes a tough person. That's a tough person.
Yeah.
That can be annoyed by you, but know that you're doing well in the competition and not say their name and say the person that really truly deserves to go home. I'd be more impressed with that.
Yeah,
sorry, I realized what the thing was that I liked that Ruth said. She said, the biggest fight you have is with yourself. And I thought that was a good, like, Ru had realized what was going on and was trying to, like, I guess, have a conversation with her about it, and then said that. And I think by the end of the episode, it was cool because you saw some resolution by the end of the episode where she realized she was fighting with herself and that she could make friendships, and you saw her see all her letters and realize, like, oh, I didn't expect for Cracker to send me a letter, you know, or something like that. So I think that left her on a really high note because, like, fans can see, okay, you know, you had struggles and you learned something from them, and that's admirable.
Kenny's in the chat. My computer died, and I can't read that.
Oh, no.
I can't
Hi,
read.
Kenny.
I have it right here. Look.
Okay.
Hi, Kenny.
I love that you think I can read that too,
Oh,
Oliver.
No. Kenny, hi.
Let me get my glasses on.
All I'll say is that hopefully Vixen did learn something from this experience, and that I just hope that everyone, you know, all the fans just treat the show nicer, and we just need to be nicer to each other.
Uh-oh, Max is in there again
Max.
with a Ollie boner alone.
Hi, Max. Thank you. Okay, should we get to the look? Let's get to the looks. No more boners.
Okay,
No more boners.
no more boners.
The looks.
Runway is
looks.
glitterific. Runway is glitterific.
Thank you.
Let's start with Cameron. Cameron, to me,
I love Cameron.
in his Cameron shirt, ear to ear smile.
I'm a sucker for rose gold.
Yeah.
So, like, that whole rose gold millennial pink thing that's happening, I'm on it.
I think
I am
truly
on it.
think this is the prettiest I've ever seen her. This was my favorite look that she's ever done.
Oh.
I love everything she does, but yes.
I agree. Totally.
So I loved it. Okay, so next is Monet. And I agree with you, Mark. It's like when she came out, I gasped.
Yeah.
Because it was so just like, it was like beautiful, nude, glittery.
Yeah.
I thought it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I didn't see until they started pointing it
out.
out,
Yeah.
like, oh, this little thing in the back. Or
Yeah.
then they were bleeping out the crotch area because I guess you could see
The tape.
The
the
HD
tape.
really had to zoom in on all
Yeah.
the imperfections, and I liked what she was going for, but
I did too.
But
so
I think
it's like
it just
I didn't
wasn't.
really notice that. I guess like when you're there in person, you notice that.
Yeah.
But when she came walking out, I thought it was like really stunning.
But it
So-
didn't stand out with in a comparison to everyone else's.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Like it definitely for me was my least favorite of the week.
Oh,
This
it
one
wasn't-
was?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
I disagree.
Interesting. Okay.
So
It was.
Vixen, this was my favorite outfit Vixen's ever done.
I agree.
I loved it.
If
I liked
she
it.
hadn't put glitter all over her body and just had the purple hair with that dress, perfection. It was the glitter on her made it look trashy. I think that, and we talked about this before, RuPaul said there's always just something that's just not, it's just off. And at least this week I can kind of point to it. But I did love it. I thought it was great.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because she made that, and that's,
I know.
that
In
was
24 hours. She was very proud of it.
How the hell did she make that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that takes a lot of like time and dedication,
Yeah.
and I was impressed.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying because that's
Yeah.
such a statement dress. So
Yeah.
she didn't need all the extra glitter on her.
Yeah, I agree.
Aquaria.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Aquaria, I liked it from the neck up.
Yeah.
The outfit to me was just whatever.
A throwaway. Mhm.
It was a throwaway, but that makeup with that headpiece, it was giving me like Met Gala
Yeah.
and the
I think that's so funny too that this is what she wore right after the Met Gala.
Yeah,
I think the
but she
timing
didn't
of it.
know.
No, not at
This
all.
was
Yeah.
a year ago.
Yeah,
so
it was
it
totally
is
a
really
year
funny.
ago. But I just think the timing is kind of
but
funny.
I just loved it. Like that
I love the idea of putting that. I love when they do stuff and I'm like, oh, why have have I never thought of that?
Yeah.
How did she do that though?
It was
She said it was
just-
a piece of sheer fabric
Yeah.
that she put rhinestones on, and then
but
she probably
can't
glued it.
barely see through
And
it.
then
Yeah.
did her
See
makeup
an
over it.
untucked. It was so funny.
Yeah.
That's cool because it reminded me of like going to confession and how it's on
Yeah.
your eyes, it shields you. So it was very.
It was
Forgive
so
him, Father, for he
so
has
cool. I just loved it. She's to me one of my favorite things about her is her makeup. Not necessarily
Yeah.
her outfits, but her makeup is always on point.
Yeah,
so then
absolutely.
Asia.
I liked it. I actually really I agree. I didn't like the shoe, but I didn't notice the shoe again until they pointed it out. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very darling.
It was fun. I just wish it was a different color because it was dark. Unless that's what she was going for, like that dark, sad clown. But it was a happy clown. Like,
I'm afraid of clowns, so none of this was acceptable.
was
I was just
okay.
like,
This is-
run!
You didn't like it?
I love the hair. I thought it was really, really
Anybody
cute.
wearing a clown outfit makes me like
Yeah.
cringe.
Yeah.
So
you
that-
didn't like, why can I never remember? Bianca Del Rio's clown?
So
Remember
basically
her
just-
polka dotted clown?
Yeah.
Her
I just,
all
no
the time.
clowns, please.
Was that a read? I can't tell.
No. I was just asking because she did a clown-ish type gown.
So Eureka, I thought this was gorgeous.
I loved it.
I agree. I can't believe I'm saying this again. I agreed with Michelle. I don't know why she did the white stripes.
I didn't
I
like-
think if the
yeah.
white stripes were there, it would have been perfection.
I agree. And like this is like one of my favorite looks this week, and
Yeah.
she's not been in my top for like since the whole entire season
She looks
until
so
now.
glamorous.
But yeah, I agree with the marks.
I wish she didn't do the stripes. I don't get me wrong. I love it. If she did it without stripes, I loved it. I would have liked if she kind of just did like what Cameron did, like just long hair that was just real simple, and again made it. Sometimes it's got to be just about one thing, and I feel like when you give the focus, when there's too many things going on, so I feel like the dress, it's so amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's like just do a simple hair, put some glitter in it, and just call it a day, because it's gonna make more of a lasting impression. Again, I love it.
That's what I was
but-
waiting for from Eureka. Like I
Yeah.
was sick of bodysuits. I brought it up, and finally she gave us this gown. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous. So definitely one of my favorites this week.
Then we had Cracker. My thing with Cracker is something that Mark has just been talking about, which is editing.
Yeah.
So I loved the like paint on her face. I loved the dress. I thought this like wheel with the skull on it was just too much. It was like, to me, it was like this. When you saw her walk in the back, it was just like this weird clunky item stuck
Yeah.
on her, and it was kind of moving funny. And I'm like,
it was off. It definitely had shifted.
yeah, and I was like, this is just not necessary. Even if she pinned the skull to like the shoulder of her dress and had like the vomit coming down over her boobs or something, that whole wheel thing was just like too clunky for me. But I thought the look was really, really gorgeous.
It photographs well. I can see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like seeing it in motion, it's kind of like a little
Yeah.
wonky. So
Yeah.
Right.
But I like that she actually did like brown hair. It's not your
Yes.
typical Cracker look.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
she's always done blonde hair. So
Yeah.
it's cool
Yeah.
to see her in a different
She
hair.
definitely did look different. I disagreed that she needed a lash on that eye. That was
No.
absolutely asinine
No.
comment. And I mean, I didn't really get it. Like, I didn't get why she was doing it, but I don't get a lot of what Miss Cracker does, which also is a good thing. But I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it, and I kind of went, oh, okay, which is always nice, a nice reaction to have.
And I also thought, like, speaking of Cracker, if we want to have like a mirror moment part 2, she was talking about how she grew up in Seattle, and she's talked about this before, how she grew up really poor, and they would go to school with lunchboxes without any food in them. And you see, like, it was interesting paired up with the Vixen, because we've had queens like Chi-Chi also bring attention to this, where it's like, obviously Cracker has the funds now to do something, but even Chi-Chi was like, I don't have the funds to do certain things. And Monique said this too, like, I don't have the funds to do certain things. So even if you're a person with less means, it doesn't mean you still can't be a great drag queen.
Right.
And I could see where it's like Vixen maybe came from a place where she thought, okay, because she mentioned saying that, like, she got to a certain point where, you know, other queens wouldn't be able to get to from her community on the
Right.
south side of Chicago. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of money. You can still be like a Chi-Chi, you can still be like a Monique, and even like Vixen, this outfit that she wore that was super, super crafty that
Yeah.
she made herself. you don't have to have a ton of money to get to this point. And then you reach a point where I guess this is like where Cracker is now, where she's been working a lot in New York and must get a lot of money in New York to be able to pay for all these things. But there have been queens where like they started off with nothing, and then once you move on from the show, then you get the endorsements and all the money.
Because now they all probably have the money now.
Yeah.
You can only imagine how much money they're getting now for all the gigs that they're booking.
Right.
But yeah, definitely just takes time to learn your craft, for sure.
I thought it was a good message, though. It was like a message of like, it doesn't matter where you came from, as long as you're really creative, you can like get to this show and still like make an impact on people.
Yeah. The shizzle.
Any more thoughts before we move on to the fan shout outs?
Or the lip sync. Did we talk about the lip sync?
Oh, we can. I mean, I thought what we said earlier where we said like Vixen, it did seem like she kind of gave up, like her heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Because when you compare even this to last week, I was like, this is a different person.
Yeah.
Like she felt defeated.
Yeah, it's hard to go into your third lip sync and feel like you're gonna win it, because it's like, okay, if I stay, I'm gonna be in the bottom again, and then I'm gonna go home. So it was just like she was walking on eggshells for sure.
You know what I was gonna say? I feel like, and maybe it's just me. This is to do with the Untucked. I feel like Miss Cracker is I feel like she keeps instigating stuff with Aquaria. Do you get she keeps like
I feel like that's from something that they said in the beginning, though, where it's like they kept saying that they looked alike, and maybe there's something still in there.
I just feel, because if you think about it, after Ru talked to her, she walks over and says, "How did you feel about that?" Like very almost condescending.
Yeah.
Like, how did that go? And she's like, "Oh my God, why should I be worried?" Blah blah blah. And then in the Untucked, that she felt necessary to point out to her the way that she talks. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's intentional, but I just keep noticing that she keeps doing stuff like that. I just found it interesting because it happened twice this episode.
In her confessional, she did say that she thought Vixen and Aquaria should be in the bottom. So that's interesting. Unless that's producers. Because the producers do ask you, make sure you ask so-and-so this question, or make sure you say this to this person. So I'll keep my eye on that for future episodes for sure.
It felt like that was a continuation of the thing in the beginning, where they were setting up a competition between Vixen and Aquaria, because everyone was saying they looked alike. Not Vixen and Aquaria. I'm sorry. Where they Cracker and Aquaria were saying they looked alike.
Yeah.
So fan shout-outs, Demi Damon, 1982, Michelle Fitzgerald, Wesley Allen, Clinton James, who saw Drag Becomes Her as well and loved it. And then an iTunes shout out from Junior 706. It says, "My favorite podcast for Drag Race. I always listen to you guys while at work. Keep up the good work and hope to see you at DragCon."
Wait,
I did get a couple people that. Did you get a couple people that?
No,
said,
but
I had a couple people that said, "Oh, I love your podcast." I was like, "Oh, thank you." It was Trinity K. Bonet's friend. When I walked by the booth, she leaned over and she's like, I watch your podcast. I love your podcast. I think I like you. And I was like, "Oh, you're the one who likes me." And she started laughing. And she said, "No, there's more than me." And I said, "I'm waiting to get some tomatoes thrown at me while I'm here." And she started laughing.
I just want to give a shout out quick to Teddy Young, who went to DragCon with his mom. And today he was with his mom on Mother's Day. So that was, and
that's sweet.
Yeah, he sent me some pictures.
Who is this?
Teddy Young.
Yeah. I think I saw him.
Oh.
I
love his hat.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I don't know
Princess
him.
Peach. Oh, okay. Well, shout out to him. Thank you so much. You're
He
so
had a
sweet.
Princess Peach hat on. Sorry, no one can see this. Thank you guys for commenting. Please keep commenting on iTunes or on YouTube, and you might get a cool shout out.
Yeah.
News and gossip, really quick. Ru has 2 shows coming up. One is on Netflix. I forgot that we have this.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
This is
I
news
know.
to me.
Yeah.
So Ru has a show coming up on Netflix called AJ and the Queen, and Ru plays a traveling drag queen named Ruby Red, and travels around with her friend AJ in a 90s RV. It wasn't clear to me if it's like set in the 90s or they're just using a 90s RV, so we'll see. If it was set in the 90s, I would be really excited doubly about it. But and then there's a Hulu show based on Ru's life, where J.J. Abrams is executive producing it.
That's awesome.
So-
Interesting.
That is awesome.
So yeah.
And Vixen's playing the role of RuPaul.
Why not?
Possibly.
It could happen.
Maybe.
Why not?
I don't know.
That's cool. That's really cool, especially if it's J.J. Abrams, who's done like Cloverfield and like all
I know. I
Star
thought
Trek.
it was an interesting one for J.J. Abrams because he usually does like sci-fi type of stuff. So I thought that was like cool.
Damn.
Cool.
Maybe it's RuPaul doing sci-fi. I don't know.
Yeah.
So really quick, do you guys have any predictions for who the top 3 are going to be?
Who I want it to be?
Sure.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, did we pick a top 3 yet?
I don't remember.
We've been going
I
back.
don't think
Ours
so.
has been changing. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I want Eureka. I would love to see Monet. And if I had to pick a third, I would pick actually Aquaria.
okay. Mine's similar. Mine would be for top 3. If they're not doing the top 4, top 3 would be Eureka, Aquaria. Realistically, I think it's gonna be Asia, but I would want it to be Cameron. Yeah, based on challenge wins so far.
Yeah.
So
I would say Eureka, Cameron, and Monet. And that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
all right, we'll
Stick
see.
to your guns.
We'll see. Top
Although
3.
I love Asia, I just don't see them as putting Asia in the top 3. So I'm already like mentally making
Unless
that
there's
adjustment.
top 4.
Unless there's top 4. Because Asia would be like right up there for me. You guys, Mark and I will not be here next week.
Yes, we have a wedding.
We will be at my wedding.
Yay!
Ollie and Ronnie Jr. will be here, and we're trying to get
And Tony Moore, I
hopefully-
think,
and
is going to
Tony
be
Moore.
here. Yeah.
So we're trying to get. That's who we're getting. Tony Moore.
Yeah.
He didn't confirm that to me.
He
must have
told me
confirmed it.
because
Okay.
he said something about next weekend, and I said I can't next Sunday. Oh, an interview for somebody from Days, and I said, oh, I can. I have Jackie's wedding. He's like, oh yeah. Oh, I'm doing your show, and I said,
Oh,
yeah, you
good.
are. So
Because I asked him to do it, and then
Yeah.
That's the confirmation.
Yeah. that's
Thank
the
you, Tony
confirmation.
Moore.
Yeah. He just texted me too, so I'll remind him.
Well, let the people know where they can find you. You can find me on all platforms. 123 Jackie B.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LoRayne Love, LoRayne Love.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Send us your share impressions.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.